Promulgation of Universal Peace by Abdul Baha Abbas, the 12th of October, 1912, Talcott. Emmanuel, 450 Sutter Street, San Francisco, California. Notes by Bijou Strown, Bijou, is that how you pronounce it? Bijou. The greatest bestowal of a God in the world of humanity is religion, for assuredly the divine teachings of religion are, above all other sources of instruction and development to man. Religion prefers upon man eternal life and guides his footsteps in a world of morality. It opens the doors of unending happiness and bestows everlasting honor upon the human kingdom. It has been the basis of all civilization and progress in the history of mankind. We will, therefore, investigate religion, seeking from an unprejudiced standpoint to discover whether it is the source of illumination, the cause of development, and the animating impulse of all human advancement. We will investigate independently, free from the restrictions of dogmatic beliefs, blind imitations of ancestral form, and the influence of mere human opinion. For, as we enter this question, we will find some who declare that religion is a cause of uplift and betterment in the world, while others assert just as positively that it is a detriment and source of degradation to mankind. We must give these questions thorough and impartial consideration, so that no doubt or uncertainty may linger in our minds regarding them. How shall we determine whether religion has been the cause of human advancement or retrogression? We will first consider the founders of the religions, the prophets, review the story of their lives, compare the conditions preceding their appearance with those subsequent as to their departure, following historical records and irrefutable facts instead of relying upon traditionary statements which are open to both acceptance and denial. Among the great prophets was Abraham, who, being an iconoclast and a herald of the oneness of God, was banished from his native land. He founded a family upon which the blessing of God descended, and it was owing to this religious basis and ordination that the Abrahamic house progressed and advanced. Through the divine benediction, noteworthy and luminous prophets issued from his lineage. There appeared Isaac, Ishmael, Jacob, Joseph, Moses, Aaron, David, and Solomon. The Holy Land was conquered by the power of the covenant of God with Abraham, and the glory of the Solomonic wisdom and sovereignty dawned. While his covenant with God involved only the righteous, and it wasn't so much of a blood and soil thing as is presented, but the Judeo-Christian spin on it definitely put in that direction, right? All this was due to the religion of God, which is the blessed lineage established and upheld. It is evident that throughout the history of Abraham and his posterity, this was the source of their honor. Well, their honor was in being of his legacy, not of his lineage, but, the real honor. Advancement and civilization. Even today, the descendants of his household and lineage are found throughout the world. 90 to 95% of the Jews are shown genetically to not have Semitic ancestry. And I'm talking, not have Semitic, Northern Semitic ancestry. And I'm not talking about, well, they had an ancestor 1,000 years ago or something. Wherever Christianity spread, Judaism, people naturally became Jews. And there is another and more significant aspect to this religious impulse and impetus. The children of Israel were in bondage and captivity in the land of Egypt 400 years. They were in an extreme state of degradation and slavery under the tyranny and oppression of the Egyptians. While they were in conditions of abject poverty, in the lowest degrees of abasement, ignorance, and servility, Moses suddenly appeared among them, although he was but a shepherd. Such majesty, grandeur, and efficiency became manifest in him through his power of religion, that his influence continues to this day. His prophethood was established throughout the land, and the law of his word became the foundation of the laws of the nations. This unique personage, single and alone, rescued the children of Israel from bondage through the power of religious training and discipline. He led them to the Holy Land and founded there a great civilization which has become permanent and renowned, and under which these people attained the highest degree of honor and glory. He freed them from bondage and captivity. He imbued them with qualities of progressiveness and capability. They proved to be a civilizing people with instincts toward education and scholastic attainment. Their philosophy became renowned. Their industries were celebrated throughout the nations. In all lines of advancement which characterize a progressive people, they achieved distinction. In the splendor of the reign of Solomon, their sciences and arts advanced to such a degree that even the Greek philosophers journeyed to Jerusalem to sit at the feet of the Hebrew sages and acquire the basis of Israelitish law. According to Eastern history, this is an established fact. Even Socrates visited the Jewish doctors in the Holy Land, consorting with them and discussing the principles and basis of their religious belief. Perhaps Socrates was trying to bring it back away from what distinguishes Judaism to the prophetic thing, because there is reasons that people point to that maybe Socrates was a prophet. After his return to Greece, he formulated his philosophical teaching of divine unity and advanced his belief of the immortality of the spirit beyond the dissolution of the body. Without doubt, Socrates absorbed these verities from the wise men of the Jews with whom he came in contact. Well, monotheism and a bunch of other stuff existed everywhere. It's this idea that it's some Middle Eastern desert religion or something like that. No. That's been long proven wrong. But Hippocrates and other philosophers of the Greeks likewise visited Palestine and acquired wisdom from the Jewish prophets, studying the basis of ethics and morality, returning to their country with contributions which have made Greece famous. When a movement fundamentally religious makes a weak nation strong, changes a nondescript tribal people into a mighty and powerful civilization, rescues them from captivity and elevates them to sovereignty, transforms their ignorance into knowledge, and endows them with an impetus of advancement in all degrees of development, this is not theory, but historical fact. It becomes evident that religion is the cause of man's attainment to honor and sublimity. But when we speak of religion, we mean the essential foundation, our reality of religion, not the dogmas and blind imitations which have gradually encrusted it, and which are the cause of the decline and effacement of a nation. These are inevitably destructive and a menace and hindrance to a nation's life, even as it is recorded in the Torah and confirmed in history that when the Jews became fettered by empty forms and imitations, the wrath of God became manifest. When they forsook the foundations of the law of God, Nebuchadnezzar came and conquered the Holy Land. He killed and made captives of the people of Israel, laid waste the country and populous cities, and burned the villages. 70,000 Jews were carried away captive to Babylon. He destroyed Jerusalem, despoiled the great temple, desecrated the Holy of Holies, and burnt the Torah, the heavenly book of scriptures. Therefore, we learn that allegiance to the essential foundations of divine religions is ever the cause of development and progress, whereas the abandonment and beclouding of that essential reality through blind imitations and adherence to dogmatic beliefs are the cause of a nation's debasement and degradation. After their conquest by the Babylonians, the Greeks, and the Greeks too, but the Jews were successfully subjugated by the Greeks and the Romans. 1st and 2nd Corinthians? No. Under the Roman general Titus in AD 70, the Holy Land was stripped and pillaged, Jerusalem razed to its foundations, and the Israelites scattered broadcast throughout the world. So complete was their dispersion that they have continued without a country and government of their own to the present day. From this review of the history of the Jewish people, we learn that the foundation of the religion of God laid by Moses was the cause of their eternal honor and national prestige, the animating impulse of their advancement and racial supremacy, and source of that excellence which will always command the respect and reverence of those who understand their peculiar destiny and outcome. The dogmas and blind imitations which gradually obscured the reality of the religion of God proved to be Israel's destructive influences, causing the expulsion of these chosen people from the holy land of their covenant and promise. What then is the mission of the divine prophets? Their mission is the education and advancement of the world of humanity. They are the real teachers and educators, the universal instructors of mankind. If we wish to discover whether any one of these great souls or messengers was in reality a prophet of God, we must investigate the facts surrounding his life and history. And the first point of our investigation will be the education of he bestowed upon mankind. If he has been an educator, if he has really trained a nation or people, causing it to rise from the lowest depth of ignorance to the highest station of knowledge, then we are sure he was a prophet. Well, it's not